G20 summit, Barack Obama was in New York City at the United Nations because he's got a new job to chair the United Nations Security Council, the most powerful position in the world government body.
President Obama does what no other U.S. president ever has. As President Obama presided over the UN's most powerful body, that would be the Security Council.
6,191st meeting of the Security Council.
For a couple of hours, you could say Mr. Obama was president of the world.
It is the story of a world that understands that no difference or division is worth destroying all that we have built. In my own country, it has brought Democrats and Republican leaders together. Leaders like George Shultz, Bill Perry, Henry Kissinger, and Sam Nunn, who are with us here today.
Barack Obama is the first president to hold two posts simultaneously. And there's a good reason for that. It's illegal. Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution forbids any U.S. president from serving any foreign government or institution. He swears an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. But now Barack Obama has sworn allegiance to the global government and the United Nations that he heads up. Let that sink in real good. Barack Obama now heads the United Nations Security Council. You cannot serve two masters, and Obama isn't. He's selling out the last vestiges of sovereignty that this country had. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the destruction of our nation, and it's also high treason. Obama's lies are obvious and out in the open. He hides in plain sight. And from the moment he took office, his lies have only increased. Despite the fact that his ratings have dramatically dropped since Election Day, from the mid-80s to the low 40s, a large portion of Americans still gullibly hang on his every word.
It is bringing entertainment to thousands of people. Through its magic, we are able to enjoy a combination of the radio, motion pictures, and the stage, right in the comfort of our own homes. Simply by pushing a button and turning a dial.
All right, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, and for the balance of the radio broadcast, the next hour and 19 minutes, we are joined by Lindsey Williams. Now, Lindsey Williams was a pastor. He got to be part of the board meetings of three big oil companies. He wrote a book 20-plus years ago about how there was enough oil to run the whole country for hundreds of years in Alaska. That's now come out in Congress. Everything he said has been proven accurate. Now, Bilderberg Group, 2008, in Chantilly, Obama and Hillary were there. Had Secret Service drive by and aim machine guns at me. We have video of that. And later it was confirmed that they were at that meeting. They said there they were going to jack up oil prices. We just kind of moved on from there, from Jim Tucker and Daniel Esselstyn's sources inside. Separately, a former CEO of a top 5 oil company that Lindsey's been friends with, when Lindsey's video presentation on Google and YouTube was the #1 video off and on for a year, tens of millions of views, they called him up and said, you're basically going to get killed if you don't shut up about how we've got plenty of oil. But he said, you can tell people this. Oil's going to go up to $150 a barrel, and then it was about $65. It did in that next year, and then went down as the fella said it would, now going back up. And so much more. And from years ago interviewing Lindsey and reading his book, I actually know who this executive is, but sources in the media, we don't talk about it. The point is, he's talked to the fella again, and we're going to go over quickly these points that he told him and then hash them out and then take phone calls next hour with Lindsey Williams. But, Lindsey, recap your saga with this individual, and then let's get into the predictions. What this fellow said the elite are going to do now. Lindsey Williams.
Thank you, Alex, for allowing me the privilege of being on your show today, because yesterday, Wednesday, the 24th of this month of February, I was on the phone with the elitist who over the years has given me so much information. And in the course of our conversation, I was so startled by what he told me that the elitists have in store for every American this year. 2010, I immediately called up Jaron, your producer, and I said, please, Alex's audience needs to know this. It's so important. And Alex,
so this is the first time.
The very next day, you'd let me be on your show.
So this is the first time this info is being revealed.
Yes, this is the first show that I have given his conversation on yesterday, just yesterday with. I've been on nobody else's show since then, and this gentleman told me some things so startling, I said, I've got to tell people as fast as I can.
Okay, let's break it down, and then we'll go back through each point in detail.
Okay, first of all, let me tell you, I'll give them to you, and, yeah, as you said, and break them down. First of all, he said how much the dollar is going to change in value in the next 12 months. 2010, he said that 30 to 50%, and he elaborated it, went on. Second thing he talked about is Dubai City compared to Dubai World. Oh, he said, Chaplain, make a distinction between the two, because he said Dubai World's default on $80 billion. He said it has literally, because they are the #1 promoter of derivatives in the world today, it has caused the entire world banking system to be on the verge of collapse. Then he went on to talk about gasoline prices, crude oil compared to where prices are going to go in relation to the dollar. I was amazed. He almost laughed at me on the phone when I asked one particular question. He talked about the elections in November. Oh, my goodness. He was very emphatic about it. And, Alex, I'm still standing here dumbfounded over what he said about Israel invading Hamas, and he knew it before it ever happened. I mean, these elitists plan everything. Then he went into Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Yemen and had some very definite words about this. And, Alex, before we take these one by one, please let me say to your audience, folks, I lived with the elite of the world for 3 years' time. I have kept in touch with them over the past 35 years. Every time they have told me something, it has happened exactly as they say it. Folks, I want you to believe everything that Alex Jones says on his programs. He is right. He's trying his best to tell you things that are difficult to believe sometimes. Believe it. He's telling you the truth. I know it from firsthand experience by living with these people and talking with them over these years. And, folks, I just wish to goodness I could come in your home right now and sit down and tell you, believe every single word you're hearing on the Alex Jones show every day. And listen every day. Don't miss a day, because if you do, you're going to miss something important. So,
well,
Alex,
Lindsey, let's break this down. There. Let's break this down. We have Citibank and other banks saying they'll hold your money for 7 days. They're openly talking about devaluing the currency. Fox News even has the report from the government saying they may have a run. That's up on prisonplanet.com today. And the article Paul Watson wrote, we have the feds announcing that they won't insure money markets, which is most people's savings. We see Greece falling, Spain on the verge of falling, Iceland being robbed by these people. We see them moving. We're starting to see commodities go up. And 2 weeks ago, the News of Australia reported a secret banker meeting with the 24 central bank heads discussing unified, concerted global currency devaluation. Is that, when you talk about banking and the dollar going down, specifically what did he say on point number 1 about a 30 to 50% devaluation in the next 12 months?
Alex, what you have just said to your audience, every single bit of it is the truth. It all fits in with what this gentleman had to say to me. Keep in mind that these people think in a completely different world and realm than what the average American thinks, and we're going to have to think in the mentality of the elite, the thought patterns of the elite, and that's the reason I've written 2 books to try to explain their thought patterns. Now, so let me begin in a way that the average person can understand it. Everybody wants to know the future. I don't care who they are. Even you and I, Alex, would like to know the future. And this is probably the only reason I keep in touch with these people. I don't like talking with them. Believe me, it's not pleasant.
Did you call him or did he call you?
I called him because I wanted to know what's going on in 2010.
Now, he's got to know you're talking to the public.
Oh, he knows exactly why I was calling. First of all, I called to find out how he went through his operation. Keep in mind, this gentleman is 87 years of age. He is very feeble.
Yeah, when he called you a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, he almost died. That's, yeah.
Yes, and as a result, he said to me the other day, Alex, this is amazing. He said to me on the phone, he said, Chaplain Williams, I'm too old to care. Please tell him everything. I mean, Alex, can you imagine having the privilege of telling everything that the insiders of the elite have to? Okay, let me begin so that the average person can understand it. Let's go to the future. What you are hearing on Alex Jones' show, what you're hearing me say today, it didn't come from a fortune teller or palm reader. It didn't come from the zodiac or the horoscope or tea leaves. This came directly from an elitist himself whom I talked with on the phone on yesterday, and these are the people who control the world. I'm going to begin with the necessities of life.